Content warning: the following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. In 2009, a 10-year-old girl named Emily disappeared from a campground in northern Washington. Search dogs lost her scent less than a mile from her tent for 48 hours. She was gone, no footprints, no signs of a struggle, nothing. When she reappeared, barefoot and in shock, she told a story so bizarre, so terrifying, that even seasoned detectives refused to include it in their official report. This is what she remembers. It was the summer before everything changed. My parents and I were spending a long weekend camping in Olympic National Park. It was this sprawling, misty place filled with towering pine trees and absolute silence at night. We were in a remote part of the park. My dad liked places that didn't have cell signal, which I hated, but I was 10 and had no say. The first night, nothing happened. The second night, something happened. It started with the tapping. We had just finished roasting marshmallows, and I was trying to fall asleep inside the tent while my parents whispered outside by the fire. That's when I heard it. Tap, tap, tap on the tent wall, right by my head. I froze. Then I did what any terrified kid would do. I called out for my dad. No answer, so I zipped open the tent flap. The fire was out. My parents were gone, and everything was pitch black, but the tapping still there. Now it was louder. Tap, 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 and it had moved from the side of the tent to the back. I scrambled outside barefoot, yelling for my parents. Nothing, just the sound of crickets and the tapping, now echoing from somewhere in the woods. That's when I saw it at the edge of our campsite. Standing perfectly still between two trees was something tall, unnaturally tall, maybe 8 or 9 feet. Its arms were way too long, and it didn't have a face. I didn't scream. I couldn't. My body locked up like it forgot how to function. Then it moved, not toward me, away. Slowly, like it was gliding. It disappeared behind a tree, and I stupidly followed. Not because I wanted to, but because something about it was pulling me in. It was like gravity, but for fear. That's the last thing I remember from that night. I woke up in a clearing, face down in the dirt, covered in pine needles. My clothes were torn, my feet were bleeding, and I was completely alone. But the worst part, I recognized nothing. This wasn't our campsite. I had no idea where I was. No paths, no tents, no signs of other people, just dense forest and a sense that I was being watched. So I walked. Hours passed. I drank from a stream and ate what looked like berries. I later learned they were poisonous, which might explain the hallucinations. At least, I thought they were hallucinations, because all day, as I stumbled through the forest, I kept seeing him, the tall man, behind trees, in reflections in puddles. I even thought I saw his arms reach down from the branches above me, like they were made of smoke. At one point, I swear I heard him whisper my name, Emily. By day 2, I was barely conscious. I remember collapsing near a boulder, curled up in a ball, begging out loud for my mom. That's when I saw the cave. It was small, barely an opening between rocks, but inside, it was dry and just big enough for me to crawl into. I didn't care that it was dark. It felt safer than being out in the open. I must have fallen asleep, because when I opened my eyes, it was nighttime, and he was there, right at the mouth of the cave, silhouetted by moonlight, just standing, motionless, like he was waiting. I closed my eyes and told myself, if I don't look, he'll go away. But I could hear him, breathing, not like a person, more like wind through a tunnel. And that's when something long and cold brushed my leg. Like a finger, I snapped. I screamed louder than I ever had in my life. Screamed until my throat bled. I kicked, thrashed, and scrambled out of the cave, sprinting blindly into the trees. I didn't look back. I didn't have to. He was behind me. I could feel him. I ran until I physically couldn't anymore. My body gave out, and I collapsed on the forest floor, sobbing. And that's when I saw the headlights. A search and rescue team had found me. They had dogs, flashlights, walkie-talkies. One of them picked me up and said, "Emily. Emily Hughes." I passed out in his arms. Aftermath, I spent 3 days in the hospital recovering. I was malnourished, dehydrated, and had a fever from the berries. The ranger told my parents I'd probably wandered off in my sleep and gotten lost. But I know better, because when they gave me back my backpack, which search and rescue found not far from the cave, I opened it and found something that definitely wasn't mine. A stick figure made of twigs and hair, tied together with a piece of red string that looked like it came from my jacket. And on the bottom was scratched one word, "Follow." To this day, Emily swears Slenderman is real. Her story was dismissed by authorities as the delusion of a scared, sick child. But one ranger who worked that area for 20 years later admitted to Emily's father that he'd heard of similar stories, people seeing a tall, faceless man in the trees, especially kids. Most never come back. Emily did, and she hasn't been camping since. Please consider liking and following my channel. I upload every night.